Communications have been sent out acknowledging anguish students and teachers may be experiencing. Thank you for listening to me with empathy and responding to my request in April. I am hopeful that you will do the same tonight. I am here to present evidence that supports the need for ongoing comprehensive diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI training for all Minnetonka staff and students. First, at the last board study session, the reports given to update you on Board Goal 2 progress did not paint the full picture. The homogeneous reports only stated how great Goal 2 is going, but there was nothing constructive or actionable mentioned. During the trainings this year, the facilitator invited staff to ask questions and share experiences. When my colleagues and I shared concerns and questions around building relationships in regard to inclusion and equity, our ideas were blatantly dismissed. The March 18th study session summary provides only positive comments that praise the training. After speaking to several colleagues at multiple schools and levels, I learned that they were highly disappointed in the training. Therefore, the summary is not inclusive or reflective of the staff's thoughts and feelings. The survey that staff took to provide feedback on this training was written to elicit only positive responses. If we are truly looking to evaluate Goal 2 professional development, surveys must seek truthful, constructive input. A group of educators have recently created a survey for teacher feedback around Goal 2 training. Although results of this survey are not published yet, it is important we examine this data to inform decisions about professional development. Second, I am here to advocate for my students, for they do not get the opportunity to give feedback on Goal 2 work. My students are what keep me up at night and what get me up in the morning. I live and love for them. They matter. Their feedback matters, but they haven't been listened to. Neighboring districts such as Wayzata and Edina enlist several DEI experts to run their training. However, our district did not consult with DEI experts to create belonging lessons for students, and it showed. These lessons were meant to encourage belonging. However, they had the exact opposite effect. At the elementary level, students expressed that they felt horrible during the first session because of the messaging and exclusion. Colleagues at the middle level shared that the messaging insinuated was inequitable. Teachers at the high school shared that follow-up discussions were only encouraged but not required. One particular student was so upset after the lesson, he did not return to class. He shut himself in his room crying and refused to come out. When I later spoke with this child, he expressed that the district should not be telling us that we belong when some of us do not feel that way. He believed that we are the ones who get to decide whether or not we belong, not the district. I told the child and parent that I would advocate for him, and that is exactly what I did. When I gave feedback to district leaders and shared my students' feedback, they said it was not the intention of the lesson. However, intention and impact are two different things. Sadly, when the second lesson was given, the same message that here in Minnetonka we belong was delivered. My student had to relive the trauma from the first lesson. I watched him, I'm almost done. I watched him on camera while he banged a book on his head. I could do nothing to help him, and the lesson facilitator did not notice he was upset. These belonging lessons made my students feel even more excluded in the district. My final piece of evidence that demonstrates a need for training is alerting you to the culture of our schools. My examples are from the elementary level, which illustrate by itself that something needs to be done now because the behaviors will only escalate as students get older. Although my building principal has made great attempts toward achieving inclusion and equity, equity is a distant impossibility without everyone in the district on board. Students and teachers are experiencing microaggressions, bigotry, and hate on a regular basis. My examples are just a fraction of the incidents that have happened at the elementary level. Students getting the Nazi salute, the N-word written on the playground and used in classrooms. Immersion teachers being called ching, chong, and asked if they eat dogs. A child teased and taunted as a group of students demanded to know if the child was gay. These incidents were treated as individual, isolated events and were dealt with quickly and discreetly. However, these events have actually established a pattern and culture in our schools. Based on District Policy Number 514, Bullying Prohibition Policy, the purpose of this policy is to assist the district in its, in its goal of preventing and responding to acts of bullying. So I'm asking that you respond in accordance with your own policy by mandating training for all students and staff around DEI, including bias training. In Maya Angelou's words, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Now that you know the truth about current belonging training for students and staff, the occurrence of bullying, and the culture in our schools, I ask that you do better. Do better for our students. Do better for our teachers. Please do better for our district. Thank you for your time.